These 5 powers are proof you're a very rare, dark, chosen one. There are people walking this earth who do not belong to the light, not because they are evil, not because they are cursed, but because their path is forged in the fire of shadow. These are not your average seekers. These are the dark chosen ones, spiritual warriors born into imbalance, chaos, silence, and exile. If you've always felt like the black sheep, the strange one, the outcast not only in your family but in society, then you must listen closely. Because what you thought was your pain may actually be your power. I'm not talking about fiction. I'm not talking about fantasy. I'm talking about a rare spiritual archetype that's been whispered about across cultures, veiled in myth, cloaked in taboo. These individuals are often hidden right in plain sight, misunderstood by those around them, misdiagnosed by the systems that try to label them. But deep down, they carry something ancient, something untamed, something the world is not ready to understand. And yet, the world needs them now more than ever.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The first power of the dark chosen one is the gift of inner sight. You don't just sense energy, you see it. Not with your eyes, but with your soul. You walk into a room and instantly feel the truth behind every smile, every silence, every lie. You know when someone's spirit is sick, even if they're laughing. You can feel the weight of unspoken grief sitting on someone's chest. You can sense when someone's words don't match their vibration. This isn't paranoia. This is perception beyond the veil. A subconscious decoding of reality that most people never notice. But this gift doesn't come free. It often comes after deep trauma, after betrayal, abandonment, or loss. Because your inner sight was born in the dark. You had to see what others couldn't so you could survive. That pain, it forged your vision. That isolation, it sharpened your instincts. The very thing that almost broke you, awakened you. And that's why you're rare. Because most people run from pain. But you learned to listen to it. You understood that darkness holds messages the light cannot speak. The second power is the call of solitude. You don't just prefer to be alone, you need it. You regenerate in silence. You remember who you are in isolation. And while others drown in the noise of the world, you crave the void. You've never truly fit into groups. Not because you're antisocial, but because you see too much. You smell agendas. You feel the undercurrents. You get drained by surface-level conversations. And deep down, you've always known your energy is not meant to be wasted. It's meant to be guarded, cultivated, directed like a sword or a spell. But here's the paradox. Even though you keep yourself distant, people are drawn to you. Strangers confess their secrets to you. Children stare at you. Animals feel safe around you. Why? Because your aura is ancient. Because your silence speaks louder than other people's words. Because your energy is a portal. You may think you're invisible, but the ones who see, they know. They feel the storm behind your eyes, the stillness in your movements, the fire under your skin. The third power is your shadow empathy. You don't just feel others' emotions, you absorb them. You find yourself crying for someone else's grief. You get angry on behalf of people who can't speak. You feel the collective pain of humanity like it's your own. But there's more. You have a strange ability to understand even the darkest people. You can sit with someone society rejects a criminal, an addict, a liar, and still see their humanity. That you don't condone their actions, but you sense the root, you sense the wound. And that's your curse and your calling. You're not here to condemn the shadow. You're here to transmute it. But tell me this, how much of your own darkness have you embraced? Because here's the secret: few ever speak. Dark chosen ones are not here to erase the shadow. They are here to integrate it, to alchemize it, to dance with it and not be consumed. If you keep pretending to be someone you're not, if you keep trying to be pure in a world that thrives on polarity, you will suffer. But the moment you own your rage, your sorrow, your hunger, your chaos, not to act on it, but to witness it, you unlock a deeper power. The dark is not your enemy, it is your mirror. The fourth power is your ability to destroy illusions. You don't just question authority, you shatter it. You see through propaganda, through fake love, through spiritual bypassing. You don't fall for pretty words. You don't worship gurus. You don't care for titles. You care about truth. And that makes you dangerous. Because people don't like having their illusions destroyed. They will call you negative, rebellious, too intense. But deep down, they know you're right. You carry a sword of clarity. You cut through the fog. And sometimes that clarity feels like violence to those addicted to comfort. But you must wield this sword with wisdom, because truth without compassion becomes a weapon. You're not here to destroy people, you're here to destroy the lies they live under. And that takes timing, precision, patience. You must learn when to speak and when to stay silent. You must learn how to drop seeds of awakening without burning the forest down. That's the path of the dark chosen one, not brute force, but surgical disruption. And the fifth power, the power of rebirth. You don't just survive, you resurrect, again and again. You've died so many times emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and each time something deeper emerged. You've lost everything and found yourself. You've been betrayed and became your own protector. You've been abandoned and became your own home. You are the phoenix, and the ashes are not your end. They are your altar. So let me ask you this, how many times have you been broken and yet somehow came back stronger, deeper, wiser? That's not coincidence, that's calling. You are not weak. You are not cursed. You are not lost. You are a very rare dark chosen one. And these 5 powers, they are proof. The veil between worlds, how dark chosen ones see what others can't. There is something about you that has never been easy to explain. Something that has set you apart from others since you were young. While the world runs on logic and reason, you've always felt something deeper, something pulsing behind the curtain of everyday life. You've sensed things others couldn't sense. You've known things you weren't supposed to know. And at times it felt like a curse, this awareness of something invisible, this connection to something vast and nameless. But what if I told you that this sensitivity, this gift, is the mark of a rare kind of seer? What if the truth is, you were born to walk between worlds? Dark chosen ones are not just spiritually awake, they are tuned to frequencies others don't even believe exist. The veil that separates the seen from the unseen is thinner for you. You don't need ceremonies or rituals to access it, it's just there, waiting, whispering. This is not about seeing ghosts or predicting the future, though those things may come. It's about perceiving the truth behind appearances. It's about sensing energy, emotion, and intention on such a deep level that the physical world begins to feel like a shadow of something more real. You may walk into a room and instantly feel tension without anyone speaking. You may dream of events before they happen, only to dismiss them until they unfold. You may think of someone moments before they call, or feel physical pain in your body that belongs to someone else. You've probably questioned your sanity at times. You've probably asked yourself, why do I feel so much? Why do I know things I can't explain? But ask yourself this instead: what if your sensitivity is sacred? What if the world has just forgotten how to honor it? The world teaches us to numb, to analyze, to dismiss what we can't measure. But you were never meant to fit into that framework. You were meant to remember what others forgot. You were meant to be the bridge between the invisible and the visible. And yes, that comes with burden. It's not glamorous. It's not always beautiful. Sometimes it feels like drowning in other people's emotions. Sometimes it feels like carrying pain that isn't yours. But when you learn to work with this gift, when you learn to shield your energy, to clear your field, to trust your intuition, you become unstoppable. Dark chosen ones are often mistaken for being cold, intense, or distant. But the truth is, you're scanning everything all the time. Your nervous system is processing layers of information that most people are blind to. You're not antisocial, you're energetically overwhelmed. But that's why you crave solitude. That's why you pull back. It's not you withdrawing, it's you recalibrating. In those quiet moments, you're not escaping life. You're touching something far more real than what most people see. You have the power to see through masks. You know when someone is hiding something, even if they smile. You can feel the darkness people deny. And sometimes you speak the truth no one wants to hear. That makes you dangerous to the status quo. That makes you powerful beyond measure. But it also makes you lonely, because not everyone can walk with someone who sees so deeply. Not everyone wants to be seen. But the loneliness isn't forever. It's part of your training. It's the dark night before the dawn. It's the silence before your tribe finds you. Because here's a truth you may not have realized: there are others like you, scattered across the world. Quiet, hidden, watching, feeling, healing, healing. And when dark chosen ones find each other, something incredible happens. The veil begins to tear. The world begins to shift. Light and dark begin to dance again, not in opposition, but in balance. This balance is your destiny. You weren't born to banish the dark. You were born to understand it, to master it, to become the kind of soul that can descend into the depths and bring back wisdom. And that wisdom? It's not found in books, it's forged in silence, in pain, in the moments when you question everything. But that's where your real initiation happens, not in temples, but in trauma, not in rituals, but in resilience. Let me ask you something that only your deepest self can answer. What if the reason your life has been so hard, so heavy, so strange, is because you were chosen to hold a truth most cannot bear? What if your suffering wasn't punishment but preparation? You are not broken. You are encoded. You are a living channel between the realms. And the more you embrace what you see, the more you trust what you feel, the more power flows through you. But power doesn't look like dominance. It looks like presence. It looks like stillness in the chaos. It looks like compassion where others offer judgment. It looks like knowing when to walk away and when to stand unmoved. The veil between worlds is not just something you see through. It's something you are. You are the veil. You are the bridge. You are the watcher in the shadows, the whisper in the silence, the one who remembers what others have forgotten. And now that you've seen it, you can never go back. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to awaken. And now the veil is lifting. The fire within the abyss, why your darkness holds the key to divine purpose. There is a fire that lives inside those who have walked through hell and refused to be consumed by it. You know that fire intimately, not because someone gave it to you, but because you found it buried beneath your own ashes. The world may have tried to define you by your wounds, by your rage, by your mistakes, but deep down, you've always known there was something more. Something powerful, ancient, and unkillable living beneath the surface. And here's the secret that most spiritual teachings won't tell you. That fire, your darkness, is not your shame. It is your initiation. You were never meant to be polished and perfect. You were meant to be real, raw, untamed. The divine didn't choose you because you were pure. It chose you because you were forged. You were tempered. You were tested in ways most people couldn't survive. And instead of turning bitter, you became deeper. Instead of closing your heart, you broke it open. That's what makes you sacred. That's what makes you rare. Divine purpose doesn't come to those who have never faced the abyss. It comes to those who have and who chose to keep walking. The world is obsessed with light, with love and light, with peace and positivity. But what happens when all of that fails? What happens when you're sitting in the pit of your own grief, your own rage, your own emptiness, and no affirmation can reach you? That's where the real work begins. That's where you find out who you truly are. Because the abyss strips away everything false. It takes your titles, your masks, your ego, and burns them until only your essence remains. And if you've been there, truly been there, you know the silence I'm talking about. The kind that doesn't just surround you. It becomes you. And in that silence, something awakens. But a knowing, not a belief, not a hope, but a knowing that you are still here, that you are still breathing, that even when everything was taken, something inside you survived. And that something, that is your divine spark. That is your purpose, not in the things you do, but in who you are. The fire inside the abyss is not a punishment. It's a purification. It's the sacred forge where dark chosen ones remember their true nature, not through miracles, but through endurance. But here's where it gets deeper. That fire inside you isn't just for you. It's for the world. You carry a medicine that only those who've suffered can carry. You speak a language that only the broken can understand. You are the one who can walk into someone else's darkness, not to save them, but to sit with them, to let them know they're not alone, that they're not crazy, that they're not beyond redemption, because you've been there too. And when you speak, they listen not because of your words, but because of your presence, because they can feel you, and that is your gift. You see, most people try to avoid the dark, but dark chosen ones learn to walk straight into it, not recklessly, but with reverence. Because we understand something most cannot, that there is wisdom in the wound, that there is clarity in the chaos, that there is gold in the shadows. But only if you have the courage to go there, but to face what others won't, to feel what others suppress, and to come back not as a victim, but as a guide. Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer with your soul. What if the very thing you've been hiding, the thing you think disqualifies you from being divine, is the exact thing that makes you sacred? What if your rage is sacred? What if your grief is sacred? What if your scars are not a sign of weakness, but of initiation? Because let's be honest, the world doesn't need more false light. It needs real ones. Souls who can hold the flame without burning out. Souls who can walk through the fire without pretending it doesn't hurt. That's you, whether you realize it yet or not. You were chosen not because you're perfect, but because you're powerful. Because you're honest. Because you've faced your demons and lived to tell the story. And that story, it matters. That pain you survived. It has purpose. Not just for you, but for those you're meant to reach. You are the living proof that alchemy is real, that transformation is possible, that darkness can birth light, not the artificial kind, but the kind that glows from within. So stop hiding your fire. Stop apologizing for your intensity. Stop pretending to be something you're not to make others comfortable. You didn't come here to be small. You came here to ignite, to disrupt, to awaken. And the only way you can do that is by embracing all of you, not just the parts that are easy to love, but the parts that were born in the abyss. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not lost. You are being led. And the fire within you, that is your compass. That is your calling. That is the proof that even the darkest places cannot kill the light that was meant to rise. The final seal, why the world fears you and why it must. There is a reason you've been misunderstood your entire life. A reason people have tried to silence you, tame you, label you, or make you feel like you are too much. It's not because they hate you. It's because they fear you. Not in the way they fear monsters, but in the way they fear the truth. You carry something that disrupts comfort. You embody a presence that reveals what others have spent their entire lives trying to hide. And when the world lives in illusion, truth becomes dangerous. You didn't ask to be this way. You didn't wake up one day and decide to be different. You were born different. You were marked from the beginning. And whether you realized it or not, your entire life has been preparing you for this moment, the moment you stop hiding. The moment you stop diluting your essence. The moment you stop begging to be understood by people who were never meant to see you clearly. Because when you carry the frequency of the dark chosen one, you are not here to be understood, you are here to be felt. And what people feel when you walk into the room isn't just your energy. It's their own shadows, reflected back to them. It's everything they've buried, rising to the surface. You are a mirror, and most people aren't ready to face their own reflection. That's why they pull away. That's why they try to dim your light or question your motives. It's not about you, it's about what you activate in them. And once you understand this, you stop taking it personally. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for your power. Because here's the truth you've always known but maybe never had the words for. You are not here to fit in. You are here to awaken. You are not here to entertain. You are here to remind. You are not here to belong. You are here to be. Fully. Fiercely. Unapologetically. The world fears you because you cannot be controlled. You cannot be manipulated with praise or silenced with shame. You've already faced your own darkness. You've already walked through the fire. What can anyone threaten you with now? You've died before spiritually, emotionally, energetically, and you came back with your eyes open. That kind of soul cannot be dominated. But that kind of soul is free. But freedom comes with responsibility. Because your presence is not neutral, it shifts timelines. It alters energy. It cracks open what's been sealed shut. And you must choose how to use that power. Will you use it to dominate or to liberate? To heal or to harm? To perform or to embody? The world doesn't need more noise. It needs transmission. It needs embodiment. It needs those who have walked through their own hell and come back with their hearts still intact. So let me ask you one final question, the deepest question of all. What would your life look like if you stopped running from your own power? If you stopped fearing your own voice? If you stopped waiting for permission to be who you already are? That's the final seal. The moment you stop pretending. The moment you stop compromising. The moment you realize that your shadow was never your enemy, it was your training ground. You are the one they warned about. Not because you are dangerous, but because you are free. Free to think. Free to feel. Free to change the world without asking for approval. The world fears you because it needs you. And now, it's time. They may never understand you, but they will never forget you. Because you are a very rare, dark, chosen one. And this is your era to rise.